How's it going, everybody? This is Alec from Big Al's World, and today we're going to talk about the NASCAR tire issue. So the first couple races of the season have come and gone, and NASCAR has gone to an 18-inch wheel from before they were at a 15-inch wheel, and that makes the sidewalls of the tire shorter, and the tires are actually narrower than they were before. So when the cars get a flat tire after just spinning out, they don't even hit the wall. The tires go flat and they can't drive back to the pit lane. And so they have to get towed by a wrecker, and it definitely takes longer for the cars to get towed back in than when they used to just be able to drive. And so there is a rule that says if you get put on the hook, you are done for the day. And obviously that rule has been changed, or NASCAR hasn't even said anything about it yet. They basically just changed the rule on the fly, like they do sometimes. They make up the rules as they go, and that's definitely one of these cases. And I actually called into Dave Moody, NASCAR Radio, about this issue, and here's what he had to say about it. I'll play the whole thing.
Al in California. Hello, Al.
Hey, Dave. I had a question for you today, and I'm sorry if you already talked about it this week. I haven't been listening that much, but so when the cars pop a tire and they have to get towed back to the pits, I thought there was a rule that if they get put on the hook, they're out of the race. I was just wondering if the rule was changed, or if...
Well, good. Based on what you saw Sunday, the rule's pretty clearly been changed, right?
I guess so, but have they officially put something out that they say they've changed it, or they're just going to change it later, or, is there any way they could fix that in the future?
What do you want them to fix?
Well, I would rather have the car, like it used to, drive back to the pit road with one flat tire rather than...
Of course.
I
think everybody feels
longer,
that way. Everybody feels that way. Nobody has looked at this deal where they have to send a wrecker every time there's a flat tire and say, like this way better. This is much better. NASCAR hates it. The teams hate it. The fans hate it. We all hate it. They just got to figure out how to fix it, and they're working hard on it.
Okay, cool.
All right? You bet.
All right.
Thank you. I heard somebody on the channel, I guess it was earlier today, and I know sometimes that there's a certain portion of our fan base that wants consistency at all costs. But there was a caller, I think it was earlier today, if not it was yesterday, that basically said the rules are the rules, and if the guy's got a flat and needs to be towed in, he should be done for the day. They should park him and say, you're taken to the garage, you're done. That, to me, is the ultimate example of dogged allegiance to procedure.
So there's what he had to say, and I am not a stickler to that rule per se. I'm just bringing up that it is a rule, and I was at the race last week at Fontana, and the cautions definitely took a little longer with them having to hook up the cars, tow them back to pit lane, and it definitely kind of made things a little longer, and it put a damper on the race, but just a little bit. The racing was great. Altogether, I think the new car races very well, and we've seen some really good racing compared to years past at Fontana, and we were very happy with the product. But that being said, the cautions did take longer, and so NASCAR, like Dave said, NASCAR obviously changed the rule. They just, did they go in the rule book and did they change it, or did they announce it to anybody? They just kind of went on the fly with that. And so, they said they were working very hard to fix it. Austin Dillon, in an article, he said that there's no easy fix for this. It's going to take a long time to get it right. Dale Jr. also said in an article that they need to take their time and get it right. They don't need to rush and change the wheels back to 15 inches. But people knew this was going to be a problem from the beginning, and people were calling into NASCAR radio, voicing their concerns, voicing their opinions about the wheel and the tire. And, Dave blew him off a little bit. A lot of people were voicing their opinions about the wheels being one lug nut that they would come off. And they do come off in IndyCar races quite often. There was one in the Indy 500, Graham Rahal, last year. And there was one at Detroit. And I think one came off in Texas too. I think there was a couple more during the season. But, it was obvious that wheels were going to come off because of a one lug nut system. And people were right. Dave Moody, he said he doubted that any were going to come off, but it is an issue. We had one come off in the Daytona 500. We had another wheel come off last week at Fontana, and I think we had a wheel crack in half at the Daytona 500 as well. But, I hope NASCAR fixes this problem pretty soon, but other than that, I've really enjoyed the racing. And the new car, I think, has been good. But this issue with the tires, people had ideas to maybe penalize the cars that blow a tire, put them a lap down or put them 2 laps down, which they're already going a lap down by getting towed to the pit lane. So isn't that a penalty enough already? So we'll see what NASCAR does. And they said they're working hard with the teams to fix the tire issue. They're running the cars so low that they just can't drive it back to pit lane with the low profile tire and the car being so low. And even when they get stuck on the grass, they can't, even if the tires are not flat, sometimes they can't even get out of the grass. So it's a pretty big issue right now, and hopefully they get it worked out soon, and we'll see what happens. I'm recording this right now. The Xfinity race at Las Vegas is taking a short break because of sleet and rain, and I think Blaney said it was snowing a little bit. So interesting race out there. It's very windy again today, like it was last week. And we got Christopher Bell on the pole for tomorrow, and we will see how the Xfinity race turns out today. All right, guys, that's all I got. Go check out my other videos and my other channel. I have an RC car channel. It's called Big Al RC. So go check that out. And I'm also a musician, so go check out my channel and my music. It's called Alec Bauer Music. So go take a listen to all my songs on there, and like and subscribe to my channels. Thanks. Have a good one.
Like and subscribe.
This has been a Big Al's presentation.